Now let's take a look at an interesting effect that can be achieved when you use vase mode. We're going to print this bracelet in vase mode. It will be a single outer contour line, but once it's printed, because of the single line and because of the shape of the bracelet, the printed model will actually have some flexibility to it. On the class page is a link to the model that we'll be using, or you can go to Thingiverse and type in thing number 1393118. And we want the red bracelet. If we look at the actual STL file, you can see that it's a solid shape. But we know that with vase mode, we're only printing the outer shell. And normally with vase mode, you have a hollow top, no infill, and you have a solid bottom. But in this case, we're going to want to have a hollow bottom as well, so that it will essentially be a hollow cylinder that we're producing. So let's scroll down to Thing Files, and we'll download the wave bracelet, the first one, 70 millimeters. Click Download, and then in Flash Print, click File, Load File, and choose the wave bracelet. Yes, put it on the platform. We'll click Move on Platform and Center to make sure that it's all set and ready to go. Click Start Slicing, Restore Defaults, Infill, Vase Mode, yes. Now, Vase Mode automatically sets the top layers to 0, but again, we want to reduce the bottom layers to 0 as well. And in this case, I'm going to leave the raft on and click Slice. Click Slice Preview, 50 minutes, and we can see that we have the raft on the bottom, and we have just the hollow outer surface. If we use the sliders, we can go down layer by layer and see as it's built. The reason we included the raft is because if we go down to the very first layer, you can see that the only place that the model is touching the build plate is this single squiggly line. If you're using glue stick, then you probably could get away without using the raft, so that it's just a matter of personal preference. But we'll leave it as is. We'll download the sliced file and print it and see what we get. This is my printed bracelet. You can see that there's some stretchiness, flexibility to it. But in my case, when I try to put it on, it's just not going to fit over my hand. So this is the 70 millimeter version. I also printed the 90 millimeter version, and this one actually does have enough stretch that it goes over my hand and fits on my wrist. And just for the heck of it, I also printed a version in TPU, which is a very flexible filament. And this one is super easy to get on. In fact, if I had printed the 70 millimeter version in TPU, I would have been able to get it on my wrist a lot easier. Although you can see that it doesn't go back to its original shape quite as easily and nicely as the regular PLA does.